So guys, what's going on? Ryan Garcia has made a comment about Floyd saying that prime Canelo would knock out Floyd Mayweather. That a prime Canelo would knock out Mayweather. What is my take? I've seen a lot of people reacting to this, a lot of people giving their opinions about this, a lot of people getting emotional like we do with fanboys and fanboyism on YouTube or on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram. People get too emotional when someone's talking about their favorite fighter. Just remember, it's only an opinion. It's only an opinion, right? I hate it when people troll. I hate it when people go on social media and start trolling fighters, whether it's some kind of political agenda or it's some kind of agenda that they're trying to have a go at that fighter for, which we get a lot of, unfortunately, and it really annoys me. I hate it. I just don't know why people find it so hard to be, objective. Just be neutral, man. Just be neutral. You ain't gonna gain anything by lying or by pushing a certain agenda. Just be neutral. Just say the truth. Say it. Say the truth. Say it how you see it, rather than saying something just to win a few fans because you're gonna get credit for saying that, or you're gonna get a pat on the back because it fits the agenda. My take on this is, when it comes to Ryan Garcia saying that, is the fact that Ryan Garcia and Canelo are tight. Ryan Garcia and Canelo are very close. Ryan Garcia and Canelo are in the same camp. And Ryan Garcia looks up to Canelo Alvarez as probably a mentor. So are you surprised that he's saying that? Do I agree with what he's saying? No. Do I think that Canelo Alvarez would have given Mayweather a better fight in around his prime? Yes. Do I think Canelo Alvarez was in his prime when he fought Floyd Mayweather? No. He wasn't at his best. Of course he wasn't. He was young. He was still green. He was still learning. Right? A lot of people say, well, he had load of fights. Yeah, but load of fights fighting who? That's what you've got to question. Yes, he may have had a load of fights, but let's not forget, Canelo started his career at 15 years of age, 15 or 16 years of age. He started his pro career, right? So Canelo wasn't a guy with a lot of experience at world championship level, right? He might have had a lot of experience against lower level competition, but he hadn't been in the ring with anyone near Floyd's level or anyone near, listen, you could be the greatest fighter and have so much championship experience and fought so many top fighters, you still wouldn't have the experience of fighting someone like Floyd. He's on another level. But Canelo didn't even have, in my opinion, top experience against top guys for him to go in there and beat someone like Mayweather. Mayweather was just too experienced. Now, if you're saying Canelo now would give Floyd Mayweather a harder fight, yeah, but what weight would it be at? Canelo's fighting at super middleweight now. He's a middleweight. Mayweather never fought above 154. Canelo can't make 154 now. So it's irrelevant. And also, let's not forget, the fighters that he's been fighting, right, aren't Floyd Mayweather, right? The fighters that he's been fighting at 160 or 168 aren't Floyd Mayweather, right? They were nowhere near close to Floyd Mayweather. Right, so to make such a ridiculous, listen, Ryan Garcia has been making a few comments lately. I think the guy's he seems like a good kid. I think he's a very good fighter as well. But again, I don't think anyone is buying those comments in terms of, we know that Ryan Garcia is in the Canelo camp. So he's gonna say that. What do you expect him to say? That no, Floyd would destroy Canelo or dismantle Canelo like he did in when he fought him? No, of course not going to say that. Canelo, to knock out Floyd Mayweather would be very difficult. Very, very difficult. I don't see how anyone could knock out Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather was just defensively too good. He was a master inside that ring. He was an unbelievable fighter. No one's knocking out Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather would beat Canelo prime for prime. If they fought at a weight that was fair, that made sense for both fighters, Floyd would win. Simple. Canelo wouldn't beat him. Yeah, if you say Floyd goes up to 168 to fight Canelo, then yeah, Canelo will probably win. Mayweather's not a super middleweight. He's not even a middleweight. He's not even a light middleweight. Yet he won title. He beat Oscar De La Hoya at light middleweight. Right? He's not a light middleweight. Floyd Mayweather is a small welterweight. For him to be beating all the top welterweights was an achievement, because he's not even a big welterweight. That's not his natural weight. He moved up because he was so good, and the challenges were at 147. Not because he's a natural welterweight. Floyd's probably best weight was 135 or 140. Not welterweight. Neither Pacquiao or Mayweather's weights were welterweight. They were small for that weight. Why do you think they were giving so much away when they were fighting at welterweight? Because the guys were bigger. Why do you think Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao didn't look drawn at the weigh-in when they fought at welterweight? Because they weren't natural welterweights. They were not natural. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather are not natural welterweights. So, of course, if you say Floyd to go up and fight at super middleweight, Canelo beats him. But prime for prime, if you were to match them up at 154, right, at Floyd's best and Canelo's best, right, and do it at a weight where they both can make and it would make the fight fair, Canelo wouldn't win. He wouldn't win. Floyd was on another level to Canelo, and I'm a massive Canelo fan. I'm a more of a Canelo fan than a Floyd fan. And I'm telling you that Floyd would beat Canelo. He would beat him. Just because I've seen Canelo, right, even now, even though Canelo's improved and got much better and become a much better pressure fighter, become better with his feet, he still struggles with that style. He would still struggle because Floyd Mayweather is a lot better, a lot sharper than him. He's got a better boxing brain. He's a master inside that ring. He's very hard to hit. Those things wouldn't change. Yeah, Canelo would have more experience. Yeah, he's been in there with better fighters. So that's got him, he's got better. He's worked on things. Yes, I get that. But Mayweather was elite. He was on another level. His ring IQ, his speed, his defense, it was all masterful. He was a master. Don't get me wrong, not the most exciting fighter in the world, but in terms of effectiveness, in terms of how good he was, and in terms of him winning, he had the best style. Mayweather had a code that was very hard. I don't feel that it was going to be cracked. Now, yes, he did pick and choose the right times to fight certain fighters. Yes, but still, you've got to give him credit for beating everyone, because there's many fighters that could pick and choose and try to pick and choose and still won't be able to stay undefeated. Still won't be able to beat everyone. Right? And this undefeated stuff with Mayweather, I don't really read too much into it because many feel he lost to Castillo. So this undefeated stuff is irrelevant. I don't care about the undefeated stuff. I look at his skills. And Mayweather's skills were on another level. He was very hard to hit. And Canelo, I don't believe even now would struggle to hit him in his prime. He had cat-like reflexes. He would make you miss and then make you pay. Right? In that fight, when Canelo fought him, the amount of times he made Canelo miss and then made Canelo pay. Like, Canelo at times in there was feeling sorry for himself. There was a time in that fight where he was backing Canelo up. Canelo was backing up against the ropes and Mayweather was just toying with him. Literally battering him on the ropes, hitting him with uppercuts. And Canelo just couldn't do anything. Canelo was embarrassed at a certain point in there. He dominated Canelo, and no one's been able to dominate Canelo like that for a full 12 rounds. People say Lara, that was a close fight that could have gone either way. You can't be upset with that fight going either way. That was a close fight, Lara and Canelo. That was no domination by Lara. This fight, he dominated Canelo. And even Canelo at that time would have been a very difficult fighter to dominate. Nobody dominates Canelo. Even that Canelo would be very difficult to dominate. And Mayweather dominated him. I mean, beat him every round. Like, literally beat him up. So, he doesn't beat a prime Floyd Mayweather and prime Canelo. It doesn't matter because prime Floyd was on another level to prime Canelo. You have to look at it prime for prime. Who would you see the better fighter? Who's got the better ring IQ? Who's got the better defense? Who's got, Floyd was on another level. The only thing that Canelo has over Floyd is his power, because Floyd didn't have great power. Even at 135, I know people say he was more powerful. Yeah, he was, but I think Canelo still has more punching power in one punch. I think if you look at a single punch, Canelo has more knockout power than Floyd, right? And even at like even at super middleweight and even at light heavyweight. I know he fought an old Kovalev, but he knocked out a light heavyweight, you know? And, you know, he was backing up a super middleweight and hurting him and busting him up, you know? He was also, we're gonna see him fight, you know, Yildirim and then Saunders. I feel that he's gonna stop both of those guys. So again, like I said, I feel like his punching power, punching power is on another level. But that's the only thing I think I would have Canelo over Floyd in terms of his power. But everything else, defense, Mayweather's better. Head movement, Mayweather's on another level. He's on another level. Cat-like reflexes, punch selection, punch variety. Mayweather has it all, man. Mayweather's on another level, personally, to me. I think he's probably the best fighter of, probably one of the best ever. And I think if you were to say he's the greatest fighter of this era, you know, you can't deny that. You know, he's definitely one of the greatest fighters ever. And I don't think, as good as Canelo is, Canelo would be able to deal with someone like Mayweather. I think Mayweather was too fast, too good defense, you know, and I think he had underrated power. He had enough power to keep people off and keep people at bay. And he had a great chin, which, again, is another great asset that Mayweather had. An underrated chin. His chin was unbelievable. You know, he had a granite chin, Mayweather. Listen, and Mayweather didn't get hit a lot, but when he did get hit, his chin came to the front. You know, Mosley got caught in with a huge right hand. Huge two right hands. One on the top of the head and one right on the temple. Or, sorry, one right on the chin and one right on the top of the head. And he took it brilliantly and came back and dominated the fight. So that fight, like Oscar De La Hoya said after that fight, I think that fight showed that Mayweather's not going to be beat. He goes that Oscar De La Hoya said after that fight that fight proved that Mayweather can't be beat. That's what he said. Bit extreme, but that's what he said, and it's true, because it looked like he was gone, and the way he recovered and came back and just dominated Mosley was impressive. So that's my take. I believe the best Floyd beats Canelo, whatever version of Canelo. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts. Do you think Canelo would knock Floyd out? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.